So let's find a comfortable seat for just a couple of minutes to begin. So you can definitely sit in a chair, on the bed, on the couch. I'm going to sit cross-legged, Sukhasana position, but that is not a requirement for a yoga practice to sit cross-legged on the floor. So definitely sit however you want. We are looking for a long spine and a comfortable seat. As we move into the fifth chakra in our chakra reset series for the new year, we are moving from the crown, that higher consciousness. Last week, we sort of settled into the intuitive center. And now this week, we are in the communication center, the purification center. And so as we arrive in the neck, the throat, the jaw, the mouth, the voice box, the thyroid, this is a part of the body that we all, have a lot of conversation with, literally, right? It's the mouth. But also, the design of our body, the neck kind of holding up the head and connecting the rest of the spine. There's a lot of sensitivity here. And so just take your hands, and just take a moment and close your eyes and just start to sense. So the fifth chakra, the Vishuddha chakra, is everything from the mouth, the ears, the jaw, the neck, the skull, the throat, right down into the collarbones. And so just with your eyes closed, just feel into this area. So most of us have something in this area, right? So teeth, mouth, ears, thyroid, neck, voice box, throat, esophagus, a lot of stuff in this small area. And then of course you've got the complicated vertebra in the neck, very sensitive cervical spine. So you can take your hands and kind of massage into the spine. The back of the occipital ridge is always one of my favorite places to press into. And this is the sky blue chakra. This is the chakra of sound. This is the chakra of silence. This is the chakra of communication, expression. The Sanskrit is Vishuddha, which means perfectly pure. So this is the chakra of purification, because this is actually where we move from the ethereal chakras into the more physical chakras. So the voice plugs between the heart and the intuition. And so this is the bridge. The idea is that anything that moves into the higher chakras, we want to have purified. Anything that moves to the lowers, we want to purify through our throat, through our voice, through sound. And so just take another breath, just feel into any sensitive areas here. Just put some sensing into what your relationship is with this space right now, energetic, emotional, physical. This chakra speaks to, are we speaking our truth? Are we listening to truth? So it's both speaking and listening. And then release your hands down and then just shake your head a little bit. Just give your head a nice shake side to side. Soften your jaw. And then bring your head to center and add a little tilt. So let the ear move towards the shoulder and then bring the head back to center and then the other. And just throughout this practice, I want you to notice what happens in your mouth, in your jaw, in your ears. And most of us at some point in our life have struggled with telling the truth or being able to tell our truth. Or listening is just as challenging, I find. Being able to listen with a clear, sort of open channel. And then the next time your head moves to the left, go ahead and pause. Relax your shoulders, lengthen your spine, soften the jaw, stay just like this, or take your left hand and rest it on the right side of the head. Maybe reach the right fingertips over to the right. Soften your jaw, soften the shoulders. In this chakra, we want to just have that nice open space. We want this open bridge. So imagine this being the bridge between the physical and the ethereal realms. We want it open, clean, clear. So what we're channeling in from spirit or channeling up from our body is perfectly pure. That's a Vishuddha. Take another breath. And then just exhale out some sound. Release your hands and then turn your chin towards the left shoulder and open up the little muscles in the neck, the scalings. Soften the jaw, soften the face. And then roll the chin to the chest. Pause for a moment. And then bring your head back up and just again, give it a little shake side to side. And then come to center. And then again, just a little tilt side to side, just moving in and out. Relax the jaw. Relax the face. And then let the head settle to the right. Shoulders roll down, spine is long, so we want to keep the head on line with the spine. Stay here, or the right hand will wait on the left side of the head. Maybe left hand reaches out. Notice the tendency to tighten the mouth, clench the jaw, move the head forward or too far back. We want to just keep it centered. Big breath. Exhale out some sound. Relax your hands. Let the chin move towards the shoulder. Breathe into the left side, all these little muscles. Work so hard to hold our head up. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. And then you can just let your chin settle to your chest, relax your shoulders, or clasp your hands at the back of your skull. And then just allow the weight here. You can let your elbows settle. And if this feels like you're pulling too much on your neck, just release your hands and just allow the chin to sort of organically fall. Again, everything's soft. We're not forcing. We can't force these centers to open. We just create the space, set the intention, and allow. And I was thinking about this class today, and I was saying to myself, you know, oh, this is the chakra of communication. And for some reason, I think I just read something on like Instagram. I said, this is the chakra of revolution. Release your hands and bring your head up. And it's true, right? Like, where does the revolution start other than from our voice, our ability to speak, but also to listen to others, to listen, to learn. This chakra is so important. One more time, just take your hands, rub your hands. And then again, just massage around the jaw. Just use your fingertips. Don't be afraid to make funny faces. Take your hands into your ears. Little circles, pull on your ears a little bit. Let your fingertips massage alongside either side of your spine, and even up into the occipital ridge. Take another big breath. Exhale with some sound. And then switch the cross of the legs, or just make sure your seat is comfortable. And we're going to do a little bit of sound work here, because that's really the best tool for this chakra is sound, conscious sound. And you can have a little bit of rocking through the body just to kind of let the energy flow. You can sit still. Those of you who want a little more movement, you might circle the spine or do a little cat-cow. And we're just going to tone the seed for this chakra, and we're going to do it 7 times. So you don't have to keep track. I'll keep track, but just allow this to kind of move through the body. So whenever we tone these mantras, they stimulate the specific chakra, but anytime we're toning, it activates a lot of other points in the body. So just notice as you do this, kind of what comes up in your body. And it can be a soft tone, it can be a loud tone. You can do it quietly to yourself, although there is a lot of power to bringing sound out. So the seed for this chakra is Ham, H-A-M. And we're going to tone it 7 times, and there's no rush, there's nowhere to go. We're going to settle into some restorative poses after this, so just kind of allow this to open everything up. Big breath in when you're ready. And anytime we tone, you want to allow a moment just to feel the vibration. And you can continue moving or sit tall, or we'll do a mudra. So you'll bring your hands together at your throat center, and then you'll fold all of the fingers except the index finger. And the index finger is going to point just under the chin. This is Kali Mudra. Kali is the deity, one of the destroyer deities, but she destroys illusion. And so when we place the sword here, we are cutting through any lies, any dishonesty, any dis-ease, any outdated information, ways of communicating, expressing, listening, hearing. Just pause for a moment, feeling the vibration, feeling the energy from just those gentle neck opening and the sound. And take another big breath in. And exhale it out with a sigh. Go ahead and release, stretch your legs out. And then I'd love for you to grab for either a yoga bolster, or it can be a bed pillow or a couple of stacked blankets. We're going to go right into a twist here. So the throat, the neck, and twisting, we do a lot of for the fifth chakra, because when we twist, we wring out the spine. So we purify it. So either a bed pillow down or the bolster long. So we're going to start with Bharavajasana twist. So the right hip comes forward, and you can just stack your knees. You can also put a pillow or blanket between them, or take the left leg behind, and then really lengthen up. Make sure there's a lot of space. And then you're going to come up and over the bolster. And you'll start by turning your head the same direction as the knees. And you can stay here the whole time. This is more gentle. Or every few breaths, you'll explore turning your head to the right. And if that's too much, then you don't need to do it at all, or just do it once. Otherwise, just a few times, just let yourself shift, or if it's comfortable and you can take a few breaths there. And just again, nice long spine, soft jaw, shoulders relax. And just imagine the breath moving up and down through that channel. Imagine the throat is this beautiful, clear, open bridge, beautiful blue energy, blue light, just this clear channel between spirit and the physical realm, this bridge between your intuition, your eyes, your sight, and your heart. And you can work with that visualization of blue. So just imagining a sky blue. This chakra, I often think of like a blue butterfly, because the voice box and the thyroid, like it looks like a butterfly, the way the relationship is with the voice box and the thyroid and the parathyroid. The thyroid looks like a butterfly, and then the thyroid is kind of like the spots, or the parathyroid is like the spots, and then it's like the voice box is like in the middle, like it would wrap its wings around the voice box. So a blue butterfly. You can keep kind of hearing the sound of hum vibrating through your throat, or just enjoy the silence. Conscious silence, not punishing silence, is very different for a lot of us. A lot of us don't feel comfortable with silence, because silence was often associated with a punishment, right? Or being alone, or the silent treatment. But conscious silence, spiritual silence, is really important. I know you wouldn't be able to tell by the way I teach, but I've done several silent retreats. I've gone days without speaking to anyone and being in meditation. And those are some of the most transformative times of my life, like I spending 10 days, around 100 other people, and no one was talking to each other because we were all meditating. So conscious silence is one of the most powerful practices. So sometimes in our practice, it's nice to just allow silence, and I will try to give you some for a couple of minutes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale with a sound or a sigh or a hum or a hum. And then slowly walk it up. And we're just going to switch sides. So you'll bring the left thigh forward, or however it makes sense to adjust based on your setting. Knees stacked, maybe a pillow between them or the top leg behind. Take a moment to really lift and lengthen, and then start to bring yourself up and over. Start with the head facing the right, facing the knees, and then maybe explore a few breaths or two, turning the head the other way. Coming back to the breath flowing easily through the throat. Any color visualization or sound, or just enjoying the silence. Last few breaths. Just noticing anything in the throat, in the neck. And sometimes we move from, chanting into resting or meditation. We might have emotions come up, things that have been stuck here in the throat. And so if you feel like you're swallowing or yawning or coughing or clearing your throat, sometimes that's a way that we sort of open up that channel. Take another big breath in. And then again, exhale with a sigh, a sound, a hum. And then slowly bring yourself up. And we're going to move into a supported bridge. And I would like to do full supported bridge. Last week, I think we just did simple bridge, and you can definitely just do simple bridge. But full bridge has the feet and the sacrum lifted to the same level. So usually you can do this with 2 blocks. You can definitely do it with 2 bolsters. You can do it with pillows or blankets. You just need to make sure they're roughly the same height. But I'll kind of show it to you with the blocks just because it's a little easier to show. But basically, like 1 block will be at like the bottom of your mat. And if you have like 3 blocks or things the same height, you can definitely make this longer. Usually people have sort of more muscular legs. They might want a little more space for that. And then you'll lay down. So most people are familiar with supported bridge, which is you lay on your back, just make sure there's some gentle support. So I have like a flat kind of blanket just under my spine. And you're always welcome to do any wiggling that you want to do here. But when you're ready, you'll tuck the tailbone, lift the hips, just enough that you can comfortably put something underneath your sacrum. And this can be very small. This can be a really little movement. It can even just be like a towel or a pillow. If I use the block, I use it at the flat setting. Some people will go higher. I prefer the flat. And then you'll bring your feet up onto the other block or pillow. So my heels and my sacrum are at the same level. And again, just being mindful of whatever support you need. And the bolster, this is a little bit more cozy because you're laying off the bolster and then you've got the other bolster under the legs or pillows, but this is obviously just kind of a more efficient way to do it. And then the arms are at the side, draw the shoulders underneath. And so full bridge is a full inversion. The feet are lifted, the hips are lifted, and we have this weight at the shoulders, the neck, the head. So this is a great pose for pretty much all the chakras because it's an inversion. So it's kind of flushing everything out. But it is like the best for the thyroid because it kind of goes right, that weight is right at the thyroid, at the back of the throat there. And so it's, it's a great balancing pose. Anytime we do bridge, we're helping to regulate the endocrine system. We're helping to counteract the rounding we do over desks and cars. If it is too much to have the feet up, then you can definitely come back to just knees bent, knees knocking together or legs out. And even if you have your feet lifted just a little bit, so maybe you have like a folded blanket at the edge of the mat and you put your feet on that, that's still going to kind of get that flushing out. We want to make sure you've got lots of space. You're on the shoulders. The neck is spacious. There's like, you should be able to kind of fit your hand under your neck. It should not be flat on the mat. And we do want to be here for several minutes tonight. This is kind of the again, other than sound, right? Like bridge pose is like the #1 pose for the 5th chakra, if you were to sort of look that up. And so we did our twist to kind of open up the spine. We did our neck work in the beginning, and now hopefully we can spend some time here. So anything you can do to make this more comfortable. So like I said, having the pillow under the legs or under the knees or under the hips, just having something softer might make this more supportive. And then just allowing the breath, allowing your mouth to be soft, opened. And if you do need to come out, and then you can just lay on your back or anything that feels good for you. And that's, part of this chakra is honesty, right? This is the chakra of honesty and communication and purification, and apparently the revolution as we move more into the Aquarian age, which rules this chakra. Um, learning about, everyone has a voice, everyone has a truth. They're not all the same. How do we listen? How do we hear truth? How do we recognize it? And so just in this pose, it's just about being open and receptive. And this really, for me, is a chakra of equal listening and speaking, and knowing when it's appropriate to do, one or the other or both, and allowing the body to balance this. These higher chakras are smaller as far as the physical space of the body, but they have a lot of power. The crown is our pituitary gland, the back of the brain, right? All of our potential. The third eye is the pituitary, the pineal gland, and the front of the brain, and a lot of our functioning. And then the throat, the mouth, the jaw, the thyroid. I'm going to grab my bolsters because I do like to do this over the bolsters. I'll put the blocks under my feet, but then use the bolster. And you're definitely welcome to play around. You can try one version. If you're like, yeah, that's not quite right, find the sweet spot, find a place where you're like, okay, I can be here for a little bit of time. And if you are noticing any sensation in the throat, again, feel free to chant, sigh, scream. I have a sound healing teacher who says, like, it's really important to kind of get the gunky stuff out of the chakra. It just has to be appropriate, So if you've ever had anyone tell you to like scream into a pillow, or scream in the shower or something, you do need to get that out. So this can be a good pose to just let out some groans or moans or sounds. Another benefit to being on Zoom, muted, right? Like no one, I can't hear any of the sounds you're making. Check in with your breath. Just feeling any sensations at the crown of the head, the forehead, sensing down into the mouth, feeling the mouth, any sensation in the mouth, taste in the mouth. You feel your teeth and gums, your tongue, the roof of the mouth. Extending that awareness to your lips, your chin, your cheeks, out to your right ear, from the outer ear and inner ear. And I'm feeling the space between the ears. As you then move to the left ear, the inner ear, outer ear. And I'm feeling your jawline wrapping to the back of the skull, down the vertebra of your neck, your throat, the esophagus, settling back into that butterfly shape of the thyroid, parathyroid voice box. Just down where the neck meets the collarbones, just resting in this space for a moment, just sensing the mouth, the ears, the jaw, the neck, the throat, the thyroid. Nowhere to go or anything to do, just sensing all your attention in this area. Maybe you see it filled with a radiant blue light, like a perfect blue sky, vibrating in all directions through the mouth and the ears and the throat. A deep, deep breath in. And then open the mouth with some sound. Gently roll your head to the right. And then to the left. The head settle to center. And if your legs are still up, go ahead and place your feet down so that you're just in that sort of simple supported bridge for a moment. And then have the feet about hip width distance. And you can either roll your hips up, or if it's more accessible to roll to one side, you can roll to one side. So if you roll to one side, you might just pause in fetal pose for a few moments. If it makes sense for you to lift your hips and move your prop out of the way, then you can slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. And then as it makes sense for you, you might rock your knees a little bit side to side, just releasing any tension from the back if there is any. And then when it's appropriate, you can hug the knees in. And if you are on your side, when you're ready, you can move your prop out of the way and you can come back to your back. And then same thing, you can let the knees roll a little bit side to side and then hug the knees in. And then you can keep the knees to chest as long as you want. We're going to come into happy baby. So you're going to pull your knees as wide as your armpits. And then flex the feet and point your feet up. And then you can take your hands and hold the back of the hamstrings, or you can reach for the pinky sides of the feet. And then plug the tailbone down, the back of the skull down, and then just let your head roll side to side. And you can rock here. You can pull your right thigh down, then your left thigh down. So this is a hip opener. It also neutralizes the spine. So we were just in a kind of a heart opener inversion. So just sort of coming back to neutral. And again, you can roll the head, you can rock the hips. Again, you can just come back to knees to chest or laying on your side if that's more comfortable for you. Soft jaw, soft face. It is a very effective hip opener. So you're feeling that opening in the hips and that emotional connection. A lot of emotional stuff can get stuck in the throat, can't express the emotions. And we'll get more into that when we get into the second chakra. But there's a definite connection between obviously our emotions and our ability to communicate them. So I do like to spend a little bit of time in the hips here too, just to kind of notice what's there. So rocking the head a little bit, softening the jaw. Inhale. Exhale, hug the knees in. And we're going to take one more twist for this chakra. This one will be a little bit of a deeper twist. So if you have a pillow or two, put one on either side of your mat, just so you have them there. And then you're going to roll over to the right. And you want your knees and your feet to be able to stack on that pillow. So your knees and your feet are in one line, stacked on the pillow. And then you're going to slowly roll the left arm out to the left and let your head roll to the left. And you can stay just like this. You can rest the right hand on the left thigh. If you want a little more here, you can remove the block, my words are fitting. We're in the fifth chakra. I'm trying to find my words tonight. You can move the pillow or the bolster if you want a little bit of a deeper twist. Also, if you need less though, you can bring the head to neutral. Otherwise, this is again a very cleansing twist, and with the head rolling to the left, we again get that full twist through the cervical spine. Perfectly pure Vishuddha chakra. But if this is, again, if it's too much, just roll to the right, maybe put that pillow between your knees and just breathe in the fetal pose. Or you can take another twist of your choice also. Deep breath in. Exhale out some sound. And then you can roll yourself back to that right side if you were in the twist. Pause there in fetal pose for a moment. And then, if you need to move your prop, you can, or maybe if you, have something else over there on the left side, we're going to stack the legs over there. So we're going to roll the body over that way, stacking the legs. So the knees all the way down to the feet are on the support. The left shoulder is down, the head is down, and then when you're ready, you'll roll that right arm out to the right, let the head roll open. And then again, make any adjustments that you need here, moving the pillow or turning your head, or again, just staying in that fetal pose if this gets to be too much. Otherwise, opening up the right side of the upper body as well as getting that twist. Soft jaw, soft mouth. Take another big breath. Exhale out some sound. Then when you're ready, just roll yourself into that fetal pose on the left side. Just curl in, take a deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. And now if you want, you can just roll right onto your back and then move that pillow so it's under your knees for Shavasana. If you would prefer to take Shavasana with the legs at the wall or laying over the props in a different way, you're welcome to. Traditional Shavasana is on the back, supporting the knees, supporting the head. If you want to do a neck roll for Shavasana tonight, that can be nice. We're not going to be here as long as we sometimes are. So the way the neck roll works is if you got like a blanket or a towel and you fold it into a rectangle, then you just roll it up. And you don't want this to be too thick. You can kind of gauge it. I kind of will do like half the blanket. And then you would turn it so that there's a little bit of blanket. And then you lay your neck over it. But feel so if right away you're like, yeah, no, then just adjust and take a comfortable pillow. But the neck roll, it's like you'll feel it, under the neck. But what this helps, it helps to support the natural curve of the neck. Most people in the West, over time, we've like changed the curve of our cervical spine because of the way we round. So if you work with, chiropractic or cranial sacral, any of that, a lot of times they'll have you practice this to kind of teach those muscles that it's okay to let the neck curve. But if you, don't do that a lot, after a few minutes, that can be a little bit uncomfortable. So if it gets to feel uncomfortable at all, then you can come out of it. But it is a good practice to try to bring in a few minutes a day or at least a few times a week. But check with a doctor or chiropractor if you have pain and you're not sure. Otherwise, just let yourself settle into whatever position is the most nourishing for your body, for your throat chakra. Take a big breath in, let out another sound or sigh. Let the body settle into the earth and relaxing through the crown and the forehead and the throat. And letting that softness extend out through the body, relaxing the chest, down the arms, down the belly, and the pelvis, and the legs, and the feet. Softening the back of the body, feeling the back of the skull, and the shoulders, and the palms, the sacrum, the heels. the softness of the front body, the tops of the feet and the legs and the belly, the chest, the throat, the face. And feel the whole body, this open channel at the throat, allowing freedom, spaciousness, truth. And as I say that word truth, I want you to just notice what comes up in your body without a story, without an attachment. When I say truth, what happens in the body? Is there a part of the body that has sensation? Is there an emotion? Is there a color, a symbol? Where is truth in your body? And there's a interesting embodiment practice I like for this chakra, which is great when we're in relaxation. Because a word like truth often has a lot around it, a lot of different feelings. And we're constantly trying to understand truth because truth changes. Sat vada paranam vada. Your truth is real, but that changes, and that goes for everybody else. And so the best we can do is try to identify through our body, through our energetic systems, through the inner healer, what is true right now. And so in this place of relaxation, I want you to say to yourself something that you feel really confident is true right now. And it can be, today is Thursday, if you're in Australia, or today is Wednesday, if you are in the United States, or my name is, and a name that you really think is your name today, right? I like to do my astrology because I'm pretty definite in that. Like, I am a Gemini sun sign, something that, again, for you feels really true. And just say it to yourself 3 times, slowly, decadently, and just notice like what happens in your body when you speak something to yourself that you believe is true, that you in this moment consider true. And then we'll do the opposite. You will say something to yourself that in this moment feels like an untruth. Like, today is Monday, or, my name is something that really is not your name, or you give yourself the wrong astrology sign, heaven forbid, or something like that. And again, something simple. This is nothing too deep, right? Just something that today is not true, like I love onions, right? Like I completely don't like onions. I haven't liked them my whole life, right? So that's something I know is not true for me and is not too, intense. And just again, say it 3 times slowly and just notice in your body what happens in your body when you say something or you are hearing something that is not true. And then again, say the true statement. What do you feel? What do you sense? And there's no right or wrong to this. There's no correct answer. Truth doesn't have a correct answer. And then say the untruth. And just notice, is there a difference? Maybe there's not. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's big. And then come back to the truth. And can you rest in that sensation for the next couple of moments? What truth feels like right now. Letting your body receive the medicine of truth, even a simple truth. Opening up this gateway to more truth more honesty, more ideas, more expression, more purification of our values, more revolution through our voice and listening. But for now, we rest in the truth of the Vishuddha chakra. Feel your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, the roof. Feel your lips, your jaw, your ears. Sense the back of the skull, the little vertebra of the neck, the opening of the throat, the esophagus, and the butterfly, the thyroid, parathyroid, voice box. Come back through this energetic center that is the bridge between the mind and the heart. Allow this bright blue light to expand in all directions, centered at the throat, filling your entire being with this luminous blue light, this blue light of truth. Take another big, big inhale and just exhale, let out some sound. Gently roll your head to the right, letting the ears settle towards the mat. And then to the left. And then maybe just roll the body to fetal pose, or you can come back through center, do any wiggling or stretching that feels good for you. Wiggle or rock. And if and when you are ready, you can bring yourself to your seat. And maybe for a moment, your hands intuitively find the jaw, the mouth, the ears, the neck. Just honoring this part of the body that takes a lot for us. All of our eating and our chewing, holding up the head. And then let your hands gather in front of the throat back into our Kali Mudra, folding all the fingers except the index fingers. Honoring your truth and the willingness to clear out this space tonight. And we'll seal our practice with a final sound of hum, or you can always just listen. Deep breath in. Hum. Om Vishuddha Namaha. We bow to that which is perfectly pure. Thank you for practicing tonight. I hope to see you soon.